Okay, so here I am. Today I added something here you'll see called, where is it? OSFX. We open it up. Basically, it's a place where I have some simple variables, and then if I have the variable set to true, it plays a sound. And there's some sounds I made in Family Studio. And so to get this to work, I'll show you what it looks like first. That's probably the fun part. Good times. Here we are, the game. I'm in the shop, and now when I talk to this dude, you hear that. I made that. It's pretty crap. And then also I have this little blinky thing, which I think is kind of cool because it makes it feel a bit more alive. Like, oh, I have to do something. And then I have that little sound when you close a window. Yeah, so that's it. Let's see. It's there. Oh, I gotta make a sound for you to go up and down. But that's tomorrow's problem. Probably some cool sound for going in and out of rooms too. But how I did that, if you're curious, let me just stop this. So I have these sound variables in here, and then in the text object. So basically, when I talk to someone, it triggers a script that makes a text object, and this text object has some variables it makes immediately, which is trigger sound and trigger flash and flash count. That's how we get the flashing little thing at the end. I'm sure there's way better ways of doing this. And so I check to see. So basically, what we're doing is we're printing the message that's in there, but it's printing only a section of it, and that's how it's like adding each word letter, because it's basically adding like over time. It does that in the by basically having this variable called text progress, and you add 1 to it. So here's checking to see, make sure text progress is the number of text progress is less than the total amount of strings in the message I'm trying to write, and if it is, it adds 1 to text progress, or it adds the text speed. So again, how fast I want to write like each of the letters, and then and it'll do that until it actually equals the string length. So basically it'll be like, oh, if there's 10 letters, it'll be start at 0 and count up every single frame, and then it'll until it shows all the 10 letters, and then it'll stop counting up. And then while it's doing that, it's also checking, adding 1 to this other variable called trigger sound. It's kind of a silly name, but whatever. And then every 50, when it gets up to number 15, so basically every frame up to 15, it'll trigger that sound object variable. Oh, it won't trigger. Yeah, so it'll basically set the OSoundFX object I made. It'll check this variable to true, which will then cause that audio to play. Oh, snap. Here we go. It'll cause this to be set to true, and then which means this audio will play, and then it'll immediately set itself to false. So then you have this cool effect where it does that, and it sets the variable that's been counting up back to 0. So it goes up to 15, triggers the sound once, sets it back to 0, and then it's off. And then it gets back up to 15, triggers the sound, goes back and off. So it does that. And then basically I'm doing a similar kind of thing with flash, where basically it's counting up. If the flash is less than 20, it does nothing. Or it draws the without that little symbol, and then if it's over 20, it'll draw that symbol. But if it's over 40, it'll stop drawing that symbol. And if it's over 40, it'll set it back to 0. So it can basically counts up to 20, shows the symbol until 40, and doesn't show the symbol and goes back to 0. So basically, it's basically kind of doing this loop. There's probably way better ways of doing this, but it works. So let's not get too upset of it. But let's hear it one more time. And so you can see get that weird little noise. It kind of has a delay. I gotta figure out why that is, and it goes a bit too long, so probably some other problem. And then it has a little beepy thing. If I click right away, it'll just immediately show all the text, and it'll stop playing that kind of typewriter text. So yeah, that's it for today.